Good morning. Okay, I'm going to get right in like I always do. If you have watched my videos before, you know that what I do is I get on these things and I try to break down the Bible. First of all, I try to take down verses from the Bible and kind of break them down and make them applicable to our lives so we can walk with peace and strength and wisdom and joy. That's first and foremost. And I try to get whoever clicks on to these, whether you believe in God or not to believe in God, to get to know the heart of God, because it's confusing and it's hard and it's tricky. And a lot of us have a lot of mindsets about who we think God is or how we think he is and how do you relate to God and how do you walk with God. And so that's what I get on here for. And so today's Facebook Live or TikTok Live or whatever you want to call this is called The Struggle is Real. And I'm going to walk you guys through a conversation that I have with God, okay? Because I've been struggling. And, you know, people get on here and they see me doing these videos and I'm always happy and I'm always doing this. And that is me majority of the time. But like everybody else, life, right? Like life gets a hold of people. Your jobs, they're real and it's stressful. Your relationships, they're real and they are stressful. If you have children and all of that, it's real and it's stressful. And your own thoughts and scars and fears and ways about you. Life can get heavy. It can get burdensome. It can get depressing. It can get sad. And what do you do? What do you do in those moments or in those seasons or in those chapters when life feels depressing and lonely and heavy and dark and like nothing is good? What do you do? And so this is me. I'm talking with God the other day and I've just been heavy. If any of you know me, quick little side bit, we moved from California. I lived there for over 30 years, moved to North Carolina. In a nutshell, I got a beautiful, blessed life, okay? I got nothing to complain about, but change is hard. And when God starts stripping away pieces and parts of who you used to be, trying to create who you are, there's these points that it's tricky. I've talked about it before in my videos. It's called dying to yourself, dying to yourself to gain Christ. And I promise you, if you take this journey with God, if you decide, I need God, man, my life is a mess. I'm walking in toxic cycles. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm fearful. I'm, trying to dig up scars, whatever you got going on. If you have decided, if you've watched my videos before and you've decided, I want to try this whole God thing, stay with it. Stay with it, because working with God is a process. Okay, it's a slow, steady, lifelong process. He's not in there to try to just shake y'all up and break y'all up and turn you into something different. He's in there to try to take the creation that is you, that he made, and make it the best version of itself while blessing you all along the way. It's just that dying to ourselves is hard. Breaking off old habits is hard. Breaking off old scars is hard. Breaking through fears and expectations of other people, that's hard. Just hard stuff. So stay with it if you're on it. But people ask me, like, how do you do this whole God thing? So I'm going to walk you through, if you're interested, a conversation between me and God yesterday. And this is why, A, it's so important to pray to God. When I say pray to God, I just mean talk to God. Talk to him. And B, why it's so important when you're talking to God to pause and to wait and to be still and to be quiet and then allow a space for God to actually speak back to you and get into your word. I always say, get into that Bible. And I know how tricky and confusing the Bible is. But the fact of the matter is that is where all of God's truths are. So if you're not in that Bible, if you don't know any of God's truths, but you're praying and praying and praying and praying and praying, when God speaks to you, you're not going to know that it's him, because you don't know what his truths are. So this is a conversation that I'm having with God yesterday, because I've been a little bit of a mess. I've been a little bit off and heavy and hard to shake off. And I'm talking with God. And, there's a lot of Bible verses. And I explain them all to you guys, too, about, fullness of joy. You walk with God. You got all joy. And you walk with God. You got all peace. And you walk with God. And he just throws down all this good stuff. And that's true. Okay? God, he adds goodness to everything. So that is true. The fact of the matter is what is also true is there's going to be seasons. There's a Bible verse that says there's a season for everything, life and death and planting and growing and happiness and sadness and sickness and health. There's a season for all of it. And you're going to walk through some hard seasons. The Bible says that too. You are going to have trials. You are going to have tribulations. So what do you do when you're in those seasons? Those hard ones, those dark ones, those depressing ones, those ones where nothing feels good. You can't muster up any sort of happiness. So I'm talking to God and I'm like, you know what? I don't have your fullness of joy. I don't. I don't have your fullness of peace. I don't. I got constant going on in my brain. I don't have all of that stuff. And that bothers me because I know that I can have that with God. I've had it so often. I've had it. So when I don't have it, torques me up a little bit. And I'm telling God, I don't have that. So what now, God? Like, I'm talking to you and I'm praying to you and I'm looking for you and I'm in your word and I'm praying and I'm waiting and I'm trusting and I'm still sad. I'm still frustrated. I'm still very down, very dark. This is a conversation that I'm having with God yesterday. And then I got to sit there because I got to give God time to respond. God is quiet. Okay, there's another verse that talks about there was an earthquake and God wasn't in the earthquake. And there was a big old gust of wind and God wasn't in that. And there was a big old fire and God wasn't in that. And once everything settled, God was in a teeny tiny little whisper. It's how God wants you to do it. He says, you come and talk to me, but you got to be still and listen to me. And you got to shut the world out. You got to turn your phone off. You got to turn the scrolling off. You got to turn the Netflix off. You got to turn the music off. You got to get into your word and you got to get quiet with God or you're not going to hear him. And so I'm having this little meltdown with God yesterday and I'm just going at it. Like I talk to you guys, I talk to God. That's what praying is. God knows who you are. So you don't need to make it some big fancy, oh God, I'm sorry for feeling like this. You don't got to do that. You just got to go and be you. So I'm just being real with God and I'm kind of frustrated and I'm like, makes me want to quit, God. Makes me want to quit. What am I even doing this whole faith journey for? I don't have the fullness of everything that you're promising me. And in that pause, and in that silence where I'm just kind of waiting for God to speak, he says, learn to be content. Now, God doesn't speak a whole lot of words. I'm a chatterbox. Anybody knows me. And and when God speaks, he's clear, he's loving, and he's true. That's what he gives you. He gives you clear instructions, gives you loving instructions, and he gives you true instructions. And you know it. Your heart knows it. Your spirit knows it. Your soul knows it. And just like that, you guys, just like that, I got that verse. And that's a verse out of the Bible. Paul is this dude. Used to be a real bad dude. Used to go around killing Christians. And Paul had a face-to-face moment with Jesus. He turned to be a Christian, loved Jesus. Now he's a follower. And he went through it, man. He went all over the world trying to tell people all about God. He had a whole bunch of bad things. And he's now in prison. And he's writing a letter to these churches that he has planted all along the way. And he's writing to his people. And one of the things he said to his people is, I have learned to be content in all situations. I've learned how to be content with plenty, and I've learned how to be content with nothing. I've learned how to be content when I'm happy, and I've learned how to be content when I'm sad. Go up and find it. Look it up where Paul is writing this letter to the church and where the verse is, I have learned how to be content. And let me tell you what that word from God did for me. It took me from a place of feeling depressed and over it and what's the point and might as well just do me and be me and go back to the old Suzanne and do it the way I wanted it. It took me from that to a place of peace. Because when you're feeling like life is real heavy and life is real hard and you're depressed and you're sad and you're anxious, that's what you feel. There's no amount of anything that is going to make you change how you feel. It's how you feel, and it's hard to get out of that. But when somebody tells you, oh, just pray to God, you're going to have a ton of peace and a ton of joy, and sometimes that is the truth, but sometimes it doesn't happen like that. You're just going through it. It's the way it is. But learning to be content, it's baseline. It's baseline. So you're not all full of joy. You're not all full of happiness. You're not walking on sunshine. However, you don't got to stay down in the depths. You don't got to stay in the dark. You don't got to stay in the tears. You don't got to stay in the sadness. What it does is it takes you and it puts you back to a baseline where you're like, all right, I think I can muster up contentment. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anything. I can look at what I have and go, I like what I have, despite the fact that I feel how I feel. And instantaneously, it takes some pressure off. It takes some pressure off of you you don't got to be walking in the fullness of joy and peace and strength all the time, but you also don't got to sit in that mud and in that muck and in that darkness and in that hopelessness and in that helplessness and in that anxiousness and that sadness. It's a base level of contentment. And if you can get yourself to that place of contentment, it's going to be easier for you to then get yourself to that place of joy. But if you're trying to fight from a place of sadness and a place of hopelessness and a place of depression, joy seems so far away. But contentment is freedom. It's freedom. I'm content. I don't gotta give anything. I don't gotta need anything. I don't gotta take from anybody. I don't need to expect from anybody. I don't need to work for anything. I can just stay in my lane, and I can just be content with everything I have. And it flipped a switch in my brain, and that's what God does. When God shows up on the scene, he flips a switch in your brain, and he takes you from a place of hopelessness and a place of darkness and a place of anxiousness and a place of anger and fear and unforgiveness and guilt and shame. He takes you from those places that we can't get out of on our own. If anything, we stay stuck. They are so hard and they're so heavy. They're so hard to get out of. Thoughts just keep marinating and going round and round and round and round and round about everything that is wrong. Every person that is wrong, every situation that is wrong, every feeling that you're having. And to pull yourself up and out of that is tricky. It really is. Even with God, it's tricky. But it's possible. And so God says, listen, I'm not calling you to walk on sunshine today. I'm not calling you to be full of love and light and peace and joy today. I'm not calling you to do that. I know that you don't got that in you. And he's talking to somebody that is listening to this. He says, I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. I know your stress is real. I know your sadness is real. I know the doors I'm putting you through and the ones I'm closing are real. So I know that it's going to be hard for you to walk around all full of love and light. And he goes, but you don't got to be sad. And you don't got to be hopeless. And you don't got to be depressed. And you don't got to be wallowing around. You can. With me, you can just be content. You can just be at a baseline. Today, I don't know, this thing keeps on going off. It's a good sign to get off. If you're feeling it today, okay, if you're feeling it, if you are feeling it, if you have been feeling it, if you're struggling, if you've been struggling, if you're feeling heavy and dark and hopeless and sad, and every day you get up and you think today's going to be just like yesterday, I know how hard it is to pull that off of you. Whatever I say to you guys, I say it to me on this journey. So today I want you to try to do what God told me. Just learn. Remember the word learn. Learn how to be content in all situations. And if you can learn how to be content, there is peace in that. There is peace in that. It's a space where you're not working for nothing, okay? I don't got to get out of this funk. But I also don't got to be walking in a bunch of joy. I can just be content right where I'm at. I don't have to strive for everything I'm trying to get at. I can just stay calm and peaceful right with what I got. It helps you take a minute. It helps you take a breath. It helps you take a breather. It helps you take a pause. It helps you sit in your life with some clarity and some peace and some gratitude that it's not forced. You're not working for something greater. You're not, okay? You're not working for joy, pure bliss, pure heaven, pure strength. You're not. That's so far away right now. You're just working for contentment. And you start there. You keep on inviting God into that. He starts whispering like he does. He starts showing you, look at that. Starts opening doors, and before you know it, what was so heavy and so dark and so dreadful that you felt like you couldn't get out of it, contentment, leads to calm and peace and joy and strength. I hope that helps somebody today. It helped me yesterday so much because I can just get stuck on what's wrong instead of what's right. I can get stuck on missing where I was instead of focusing on where I'm going. I can get stuck on what I used to have and what I don't have anymore while waiting for God to deliver what's next. And when you stay stuck looking back, and you stay stuck missing the things that you used to have, and you stay stuck angry at everybody because they're not filling the void inside of you, they're not making you feel loved, and you feel stuck because your job is the same, or you ain't got no money, or whatever it is that's got you stuck, you sad, and you hopeless, and you crying more than laughing. Learn to be content. Learn to be content. Content is such a place of calm and peace, and then the rest will start flowing in. It just gives you a break. Just takes off that coat of heaviness. I hope that helped. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. I hope you spend some time talking to God about whatever it is that you are battling with. I hope you don't think that you have to do it with any sort of fancy words. I hope you just talk to him the way I'm talking to you and tell him what's up for real, how you feel for real, why you feel like that for real. I hope you get it all out. And then I hope you sit in that space and go, but right now, God, I'm going to flip a switch. I'm going to choose to flip a switch. I know I'm not full of joy. I know that. But I also know that I don't like how it feels to stay so angry and sad and hopeless and heavy. So I'm going to flip a switch and I'm just going to choose to be content. And then just keep on inviting God in. And get into that word. Get into your Bible. Look up verses. If you don't have a Bible, you can look up verses on your phone of what does the Bible say about being content? What does the Bible say about whatever it is you're going through? If you're going through sadness, what does the Bible say about sadness? It says, wait on the Lord. It says, fall into the Lord. It says, rest with the Lord, and he will bring you back to joy. What does it say about fear? It says, be strong and courageous. I'm with you. I got you. I am protecting you. You got everything you need inside of you. What does it say about unforgiveness? It says, none of us should be forgiven. We're all a mess. But come to me and I'll teach you. I'll show you. I'll fill you with grace so you can forgive. God's got the answer. He's got the answer. Whatever question you got, God's got the answer, but it's in his word. And he's got it for you. So get into your word, pray to God, cry to God, scream to God, fight with God, do whatever you need to do, but do it with God. And then pause with God. Just sit there with him. It's your faith. Your faith is what is going to continue this walk. And if you're talking to God, but you don't have any faith that he wants to help you, or that he's there, or that he hears you, it's going to hold you up. And if your faith is low, talk to God about that too. Give me faith. Give me faith. Whatever you're low on, give me joy. Whatever you're low on, give me peace. Give me strength. Give me discernment. Whatever it is that you're low on, go to God. He's got it. Have a beautiful day, you guys.